There is a reason some people walk into your life, and no matter how much time passes, no matter how far they go, no matter how hard they try to move forward, something inside them keeps returning to you, because you did not just become a person they met, you became a feeling they cannot replace. And the truth is, most people never understand why certain connections feel different, why one person can disappear from your daily life but still remain alive inside your thoughts, why one voice, one smile, one conversation, one moment can leave a mark deeper than years spent with someone else. Carl Jung believed that the human mind is far more mysterious than we realize, and beneath our conscious thoughts there is a hidden world of emotions, memories, desires, and unresolved parts of ourselves that quietly influence who we are drawn to and why we cannot let certain people go, because sometimes what feels like attraction is not only about the person standing in front of us, sometimes it is about what that person awakens inside us. Sometimes we are not simply attached to someone, we are attached to the version of ourselves that appears when we are around them, and this is why some people cannot explain why they feel such a powerful connection. They say, I do not know what it is about them, but something feels different, something feels familiar, something feels like home. And Carl Jung would say that this feeling often comes from the unconscious recognizing something meaningful, something that connects with a hidden part of our inner world. Today we are going to explore the deeper psychological reasons why someone cannot stop thinking about you, and the signs that reveal you have left a powerful emotional imprint on their mind. But before we understand why someone becomes deeply connected to you, we need to understand one important truth. People do not always remember the person who gave them the most, they remember the person who made them feel something they had forgotten existed, because human beings are emotional creatures and emotions create memories stronger than simple experiences. You may forget what someone said to you years ago, but you will remember the person who made you feel understood when you felt invisible. You will remember the person who showed kindness when you expected rejection. You will remember the person who brought peace when your life was filled with chaos, because the heart does not hold on to everything, it holds on to what changes something inside you. And this is where Carl Jung's understanding of the unconscious becomes powerful. Jung believed that every person carries hidden parts of themselves, parts they do not always understand, parts they sometimes ignore or hide, and throughout life we are constantly searching for experiences that connect with those hidden parts. This is why two people can meet and feel an immediate connection even when they barely know each other, because sometimes the mind is not responding only to what is visible, it is responding to something deeper, something symbolic, something emotionally familiar. Maybe that person reminds you of safety, maybe they remind you of a love you always wanted, maybe they represent a part of yourself you lost along the way. And this is why certain people become unforgettable. They are not unforgettable because they were perfect, they are unforgettable because they touched something within you that was waiting to be awakened. And when someone experiences that kind of connection with you, the first sign is often that they remember the details most people overlook. They remember the small things you said in passing, they remember your favorite things, they remember the stories you told them, they remember what makes you laugh, they remember what hurts you, they remember moments you thought were meaningless, because to them those moments carried emotional weight. And when someone remembers the small details about you, it often means you have become psychologically important to them. Their mind has marked you as someone worth paying attention to, someone worth understanding, someone who is different from everyone else. And this attention does not always happen consciously. They are not sitting there forcing themselves to remember every detail about you. It happens naturally, because emotional importance changes the way the brain stores information. When someone matters to us, we notice more, we listen more, we remember more, we become aware of things other people miss. And this is why someone who feels deeply connected to you may notice changes in your mood before you even speak. They notice when your energy feels different, they notice when your smile is not real, they notice when something is bothering you even when you try to hide it, because their attention has Become focused on your inner world, not just your outer appearance, and this is where many people misunderstand deep connection. They think someone is attached because of beauty, because of charm, because of words, but often the strongest connections are created by emotional experiences, by moments where someone feels truly seen and accepted. Because in a world where so many people wear masks, being around someone who allows you to be your real self can feel incredibly rare. Maybe you made them feel calm when they were used to chaos. Maybe you made them feel valued when they spent years feeling ignored. Maybe you listened without judging them. Maybe you understood something they could not even explain themselves, and that experience created a memory that stayed with them, because the human heart remembers where it felt safe. And sometimes one person becomes connected to a feeling of peace that they never knew they needed, and once the mind connects a person with that feeling of peace that they never knew they needed, and once the mind connects a person with that feeling, it becomes difficult to simply forget them. But there is something even deeper than this, because sometimes people are not only attached to who you are, they are attached to who they become when they are around you. And this is the part that changes everything, because the most powerful connections are not always about finding someone who completes you. They are about finding someone who reveals something inside you that was already there. And when someone brings out a better version of yourself, you naturally feel drawn back toward that experience, because deep inside every person there is a desire to become whole, to become more authentic, to become closer to who they truly are. And sometimes another person becomes the mirror that shows us a reflection we had forgotten, and that reflection can be powerful enough to stay in our minds long after the moment has passed. But this is only the beginning, because the next sign reveals why someone may secretly look for reasons to stay connected to you even when they try to act like they do not care, and the reason behind it goes much deeper than simple attraction. The second sign that someone has a deep emotional connection with you is that they find reasons to stay connected even when there is no obvious reason for them to do so. And this is where you begin to see the difference between ordinary interest and a connection that has reached a deeper level, because when someone truly values your presence, they do not only appear when they need something from you, they look for small ways to remain part of your world. They send a message because something reminded them of you. They share a thought because they want you to know what is happening inside their mind. They ask your opinion because your perspective has become important to them. They remember things you mentioned weeks ago because those moments stayed with them. And sometimes they create conversations out of the smallest things, not because they have nothing else to do, but because a part of them simply wants to feel connected to you again. And Carl Jung believed that human beings are constantly searching for meaning and wholeness, and sometimes another person becomes connected to a deeper emotional need within us. Someone may be drawn to you because your presence represents something they have been searching for without even realizing it. Maybe you represent peace in a life full of confusion. Maybe you represent honesty in a world where they have experienced too much pretending. Maybe you represent emotional safety when they have spent years protecting themselves. And this is why some people feel pulled towards someone and they cannot fully explain why. They just know that being around that person feels different, because the connection is not only happening at the level of words, it is happening at the level of emotions and unconscious recognition. They may try to convince themselves that it is nothing special. They may try to act casual. They may try to focus on other things, but their actions reveal something deeper, because the mind naturally moves toward what gives it emotional meaning. And when someone becomes connected to a feeling they do not want to lose, they naturally search for ways to experience that feeling again. This is why someone may find excuses to talk to you. They may ask questions they already know the answer to. They may bring up old conversations. They may send you something random because it made them think of you. They may remember a detail about your life that even you forgot you shared. In all these small actions reveal something important. Their attention is no longer casual, their mind has started placing importance on you. But there is another layer to this that many people overlook, because sometimes a person is not only interested in knowing you, they are trying to understand you. They want to discover what makes you happy, what hurts you, what motivates you, what you fear, what you dream about. Because when someone becomes emotionally invested, they become curious about your entire inner world. They are not only attracted to your appearance or your personality, they become fascinated by the story behind you, the experiences that shaped you, the struggles that changed you, the beliefs that guide you, and the hidden parts of yourself that you do not show everyone. And this type of curiosity is powerful because it shows that someone is not simply looking at you, they are trying to see you. And there is a huge difference between being noticed and being understood. Many people can notice your appearance. Many people can enjoy your presence, but very few people take the time to understand the person beneath the surface. And when someone makes the effort to understand you, it creates a deeper emotional connection, because humans have a natural desire to be seen for who they truly are, not just for the image they show the world. And this connects to one of Jung's most important ideas, the idea that people often project hidden parts of themselves onto others. Sometimes we are drawn to people because they carry qualities that awaken something inside us. Maybe someone sees courage in you because they have been afraid for years. Maybe they see kindness in you because they have experienced a lack of compassion. Maybe they see freedom in you because they have felt trapped by their own fears, and without realizing it, they begin associating you with the emotions they want to experience more deeply in their own life. And this is why some connections feel so intense, because the person is not only responding to who you are, they are responding to what you symbolize in their unconscious mind. You become connected with a feeling of possibility, a new version of life, and that emotional meaning makes it difficult to simply walk away. But there is also a warning hidden inside this truth, because strong feelings do not always mean someone completely understands you. Sometimes people fall in love with the version of you they created in their mind rather than the real person standing in front of them. And Jung would remind us that awareness is important, because the unconscious can create powerful illusions. Sometimes we do not see people clearly because we see what we need them to represent, and this is why the healthiest connections are built on honesty and reality, not only on intense emotions. Because real love is not about creating a fantasy, it is about accepting a complete human being with strengths, weaknesses, fears, and imperfections. And when someone truly values you, they do not only love the idea of you, they respect the reality of you. They allow you to be human, they allow you to have difficult days, they allow you to grow and change, and they do not try to force you into an image they created. But when someone is deeply affected by you, there is usually a moment when they realize that you are not just another person they met. You have become someone who changed the way they experience connection, and that realization can be powerful because it means you have moved from being a simple interaction into becoming an emotional reference point in their life. And this brings us to the third sign, which reveals how someone's feelings can become so strong that they begin talking about you even when they are not trying to. Because when a person occupies a meaningful place in someone's mind, their presence begins appearing everywhere, even in moments when they are not physically there. And this next sign reveals just how deeply the unconscious mind can hold on to someone who has left a powerful emotional impact. The third sign that someone is deeply affected by you is that they cannot stop bringing you into their conversations even when they try to keep things casual. Because when someone has become emotionally important, their presence begins showing up everywhere in their life, their thoughts, their stories, their memories, and eventually their words. They may mention your name in conversations where it was not even necessary. They may tell people about something funny you said. They may repeat advice you gave them. They may share a small moment you both experienced as if it was something much bigger than it seemed. And the reason this happens is because the human mind naturally talks about what carries emotional weight. We do not constantly speak about things that mean nothing to us. We speak about the things that occupy our inner world, and when someone has become a powerful emotional presence in your mind, they naturally become part of your everyday thoughts, and those thoughts eventually find their way into your conversations. Carl Jung believed that what repeatedly appears in our thoughts and expressions often reveals what is active in our unconscious mind, because the unconscious does not always communicate through direct words. It communicates through patterns, feelings, memories, and repeated focus. And when someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it often means that something about that person has touched a deeper layer of your mind. They are no longer just someone you met, they have become connected to meaning. They represent something, they remind you of something, they awaken something, and that is why some people find themselves talking about someone even when they are not trying to, because the person has become part of their internal story. You may notice that when someone feels this way, their friends often recognize it before they admit it themselves, because people on the outside can sometimes see what the person inside the emotion cannot see. They notice the change in their behavior, they notice the excitement in their voice when they mention that person. They notice how often the conversation returns to the same name or the same memories. They may even tease them about it, because everyone around them can sense that something has changed, but the person experiencing the feelings may still be trying to understand what is happening inside them, and this reveals something important about human emotions. Sometimes the heart understands something before the mind has accepted it. Someone may tell themselves that they are not that interested. They may try to act normal, they may try to convince themselves that it is nothing serious, but their actions, their attention, and their words reveal another story, because deep emotions are difficult to completely hide. They appear through small details, through the things we remember, through the people we mention, through the moments we replay when nobody is watching. But there is an even deeper reason why someone may keep talking about you, and it connects directly with Jung's idea of projection. Because sometimes when someone talks about another person repeatedly, they are not only describing that person, they are describing what that person represents inside their own mind. Maybe you represent hope after a period of disappointment. Maybe you represent peace after years of emotional chaos. Maybe you represent confidence when they have struggled with insecurity. Maybe you represent a version of love they always wanted but never experienced before. And when a person becomes connected to those deeper emotions, they become more than just an individual, they become a symbol of something meaningful. This is why some people say, I do not know why I feel this way about them. I cannot explain why they are different, because what they are feeling may not only be about the person themselves, it may be about the emotional world that person awaken inside them. They may not only miss your presence, they may miss how they felt when they were around you. They may not only remember your words, they may remember the comfort those words created. They may not only remember your smile, they may remember the moment they felt accepted, because sometimes what changes us is not the event itself, but the emotion attached to that event. Think about the moments from your own life that you still remember clearly years later. Usually they are not random moments, they are moments connected to strong feelings. Maybe a moment when someone believed in you, maybe a moment when someone understood you, maybe a moment when someone showed you kindness when you needed it most. Emotions give experiences meaning, and meaning gives experiences a permanent place in our memory. This is why a person can meet someone for a short period of time and still remember them for years, because emotional impact is not measured only by time, it is measured by depth. A single conversation can change someone's perspective. A single act of kindness can restore someone's faith. A single moment of understanding can stay with someone longer than countless ordinary interactions. And sometimes the most powerful connections are created through small moments that the other person does not even realize were important. Maybe you answered a message when they expected to be ignored. Maybe you listened when they expected judgment. Maybe you encouraged them when they were doubting themselves. Maybe you showed patience when everyone else had given up on them. These moments may feel ordinary to you, but to someone who needed them, they can become unforgettable. This is where the fourth sign becomes even more powerful, because it reveals the hidden reason someone may not simply remember you but may feel like you awaken something inside them that they cannot explain. They are not only attached to your presence, they are attached to the emotional transformation they experienced because of you. And once someone connects you with a feeling they deeply needed, the bond becomes much stronger than simple attraction, because now you represent something much deeper in their unconscious mind. And the truth is, sometimes the person who cannot stop thinking about you is not only thinking about you, they are thinking about the person they became when they were around you. They are remembering the confidence they felt, the peace they experienced, the hope they discovered, and the version of themselves they were able to access because your presence gave them permission to be more authentic. But the next sign goes even deeper, because it reveals the hidden psychological reason why some people become so attached to someone and why they feel like losing that person means losing a part of themselves, because sometimes what someone sees in you is actually a